is looking stable.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in. We have here today both Karen and I casting the finals of the KFPL Triad League between Jtrussell and Hydrophilic Attack. We do not know the results of this game, so we're going to be watching it live with you. We're all going to be surprised. We're all going to go through the highs and lows together, and I think we're in for some pretty good key forward from hearing from feedback from both Jtrussell and Hydro. So we have here the video from Jtrussell. They were kind enough to record it for us, and we have the secret YouTube link for it. And so while we do that, we've got that here, and while we get that going, we can we'll watch it together. We'll cast it, and I think afterwards, once this has gone live, they will also publish it on the Slappy Labrick channel, so that you can get Jtrussell's commentary on it, as well as our entirely impartial, and third party opinion on it as well. So it'd be really cool to see both perspectives: Jtrussell's thought process during the games, and then our, blind commentator's eye.
Yeah, we'll try to be objective, but that we hate both these guys, so
Yeah, it's both are it's a brutal rivalry.
yeah, it's honestly hard to stomach just watching them,
We're doing it for you. We're doing it for you. We're doing it for
we're doing it for the people.
Yeah. And so we've got Hydro's decks. Yeah, Hydro's decks live on screen right now. So I'll run through them pretty quickly.
Do you wanna like alternate back and forth? Do one at a time?
Yeah, we can do that. I think that'll be good.
Cool.
So we're starting off with L. Wright, the Road Farrier. And here we have a Coda deck, which is Sanctum, Shadows, and Untamed. It is it's a pretty classic Coda deck, to be perfectly honest. It's got some good scaling in the Doorstep to Heaven. It has the one board wipe in the Spirit's Way. It has lots of steel with double urchins, double routine jobs, a finishing blow, relentless whispers, and then a Fagin as well to recur those urchins as needed. And then on top of that, it's got two dust pixies, a Dew Fairy, the classic Fuzzy Gruen, Flaxia, Full Moon, and the most impactful card in that Untamed, the Life Web. On top of that, it has some pretty nice spot removal and stuff like the double cooperative huntings, which combine with the finishing blows to cut things off. And then also, the Sanctum list here is no slouch. The total of 18 Amber pips here as well. 34 expected Amber, and I'm sure that's a very true 34E.
Yeah, it's real. I've played against this thing. The E is very, very real. The C is like overrated even though. Like it really, really lacks in the C. It has that board wipe and really nothing else.
Yeah, pretty much unless it can get finishings out with the cooperative huntings and the finishing blows, then
yeah. So like if you can play Flood against it, it can still beat you because it can rush so hard. Because the third, like we were saying, the 34 is real, but the 9.6 should be. It feels like 7, 6. Like it's low.
Yeah. So next up we have Band Wrench from Hydro, which I'll let Karen go through.
Yeah, so this deck's crazy. I actually I got some history with this deck. I almost bought it. I got a different one instead. Just can't buy everything, But what's really interesting about this deck, it's a library access with the triple wild wormhole. If it goes off, it can actually forge all 3 keys in a turn, like if it just fires off. It really, really is one of the rare OTK decks in Keyforge. The rush is real. The speed is real, if not even a little underrated on the speed. The Brobnar is actually really nice. Like you got the barehanded. Earthshaker is a very underrated card, especially against Mass Mutation with a lot of like low creatures hanging around in like shadows and logos and stuff. Double Ganger, double Blood of the Titans, like really really good stuff. But mostly that feature house is the feature houses are the logos with the huge library access play, and then you have the Untamed, the virtually perfect Untamed with double Full Moon, Nature's Call, double Dust Pixie with a Flaxia, no big deal.
No big
Um,
deal. And a Chota.
yeah, yeah, and just like pre-errata, this thing is a monster. I mean, it's like still a pain in the ass, and I just like ban it most times that I'm in a banning format because the thing is it can just beat anything. Like
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing about this. But I'll let us move to the next, I suppose.
Yep. So that's Ban Wrench. We've covered outright. We got Ban Wrench, and now except we have Dawson. We've moved away from Coda, and we've gone into MM. Going slightly on the opposite end, where this is a 29A 19E deck, so the E is a little bit lower, but as we can see when we look at the dis and the shadows, that's absolutely no slouch with quad red pennies, as well as 3 Infernuses, a Stirring Grave to recur those, and the Liam Say for the red penny recursion, as well as Reckless Rizzo there. Finishing below, Sack of Coins, which is phenomenal C. And then another sign up Sanctum lineup with some good, which provides some good capture in the double commandeers. Lady Lorena is just fantastic. Same with the Seeker of Truths. Scrivener Fabian with the 5 capture pips is offering even more leverage on the stealing. In Sanctum no less, and then the Font of the Eye, which I imagine was probably gonna do some work here.
Yeah, I think just thinking of this lineup as a whole, I think the way that you beat it is you ban Wrench and you play Flood. You know, like if you got to pick anything into this. The interesting thing about Dawson, though, is it really is its own, like, I mean, it's like slower, but it really is its own, like, board population thing. Those Infernuses can get rid of removal, and then those 24 creatures become a lot. The double Commandeer becomes super deadly. Fawn of the Eye keeps aggregating. The Rad Pennies keep cycling. Real nasty stuff. But again, we're low on that C, so it's kind of like we're giving up. It's a pretty rare strategy nowadays. It's pretty bold, honestly, and to make the finals with it is really something to be playing decks with that low C with the prevalence of Flood. So I just did want to say that. It's a pretty bold, awesome choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know Hydro's idea going into it, as they said, was that mostly to have decks. They're looking to win from hand. You know, they're not trying to win through simply accruing a board and using that board. They do want to win without one. So mostly just looking for good play effects out of hand and um, doing all of that. So moving
I
on
think that's
to
true of like
JT's
anything
lineup.
except for Dawson. Yeah. Yeah, so this one's me. Can you scroll down? Sorry.
Whoops. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, this deck is what's the right word? Fucked up. Um, we've got a Ultra Gravitron with some mutants in the Torado. I mean, we're just really really fast logos. The 20 speed is real. We're talking about a transporter platform with an Anthony, which is absolutely deadly. Double Subject Kirby with 2 upgrades that matter. You also have Secura Droid. Um, Enhancements floating around. Of course, you have the 8-inch jar, double Infernus for a practically perfect disc. Got the board clear. The one thing that this deck can't do is like generate amber massively fast, right? So this is going to win via getting some creatures on that board, maybe jarring your removal. The Infernuses come in. It doesn't have C, so you could like body it with a Quixel if you get it before they get the jar. There are ways to do this, but if we're talking about going up against those decks that have low C, that's going to be rough, right? Because we got
Yeah.
19 creatures at speed. It's looking real good into this lineup if you ban Wrench, so I'm liking Ziggur here.
Yeah, for sure. I know Jtrussell. They talked a little bit about it on the bottom of the beaker, their bottom of the beaker segment on Tuesday. Whereas Zyger is one of the decks Jtrussell considers, their most Archon solo capable deck. Makes
Yeah,
sense. Makes sense to put it into a triad like this. And Jtrussell specifically said that for them, the way they play this is very purely a control deck.
yeah,
So this is looking to grind down the opponent to such a state where um, this deck just wins. Jtrussell said they often, oftentimes they're down 2 keys, like 2 keys to 0, and they'll win 3-2. And they said, oftentimes, like that's gonna be the case. If it doesn't, it just loses 3-0. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Yeah, I have a few decks like that. Quinn is like that. You just need to sort of lose for a little bit before you win. That's what
Yeah,
you do.
yeah, yeah. It's an interesting question of how much ground are you willing to concede in order to put yourself into a favorable position. It's always a push and pull of
Right.
Keyforge.
I mean, it's interesting too. Like, I mean, in Triad, the keys don't matter, and it is something that I think is really important to me, like about Keyforge. That like, I think the only key that matters is the third key,
Yeah,
and it's really really important.
for sure.
Uh, yeah.
So moving on to Aslan. Wonderful name.
Uh,
Um, this is quite the AOA, 83 SAS, 37 E, which again, another quite a high E deck. This feels very much a combo deck with the double brig, the double binary rupture, double interdimensional graft there, alongside a too much protect. So they are doing everything in their power to stop you from gaining extra amber when you forge. Combine that too with a miasma for maximum impact.
no big.
No biggie. Um, and some pretty decent speed here for coming from the logos. The double slide Blabwork, memory chip, Igor, the Hexpion, and the ZYX researcher. This deck can just do a lot. So it'd be interesting to see if the swindle ever plays a big role. And then also on top of the dis here with the Artana the Chained can certainly generate some amber if that's left unchecked.
Hey, I'll add one thing to that, which is that this has a freaking silver key imp, which really makes that brig fire, man. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
it's just another way to keep you from forging that key. This deck is a nightmare. And that
Yeah,
37 expected is like real. It can rush and it can destroy board. This thing is deadly against MM. Scary deck. Scary deck.
absolutely. I'll be very curious to see if Silver Key Imp plays a big role here. Um,
Yeah.
hopefully, I hope so.
It's just one more out. It's just one more out. Like
Yeah,
it's not so much that it's great, it's just like, oh, that just makes the double brig even more deadly, right?
yeah. There's like 7 different axes upon which this thing is attacking you to set up their big combo.
Yeah.
Welcome in everyone. Welcome in Ketzer. Welcome in Foxball, and welcome in Dataforge. Um, we are just going through the decks right now, and up next is Lorien.
This one's on me. So this thing is weird. Like both of these players have gone for a very low, like amber control, just like aggro attack deck. It's like really cool to see. Because we haven't seen a ton of that in KFPL actually. Honestly, like at like the highest levels of KFPL, it's interesting that this can be successful.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't have something very specific to say about that, but it is like, wait, like decks with 1.5A are like winning because the 20C is so much more important right now. That's how much the meta is worked towards Flood right now, that you can do that,
yeah,
if you can just be super aggro. So let's talk about how this deck is aggro. You got the double Ganger Chieftain, double Drummer Knot, and you have the Might Makes Right with just a ton of creatures. Basically, that Brobnar is just going to fire off for a free key. Um, a good amount of games, I would imagine. That's just we're talking 21 creatures and just a dominating board there. It also has the Coward's End to get that board clear to get the Drummer Knock Anger Chieftain thing off.
yes, and that's
Um,
something I have
Lo-
experienced personally. Coward's End alongside Drumknot combo is phenomenal.
yeah, you just have to like make your opponent like damage their own stuff, and
Yeah,
it's tough. So that's always in the back of their mind when you're playing against this deck. But what makes it really deadly, it does have that Coward's End. It has triple standardized testing, which is going to keep the board like mega clean. So like you're going to have to populate the board against it every turn,
yeah,
but it can play some pips out of hand. It can get the Igors going and the Time Traveler going. It can get the stuff back in the deck. with the help from Future Self. So it's just going to continually keep that board clear, and then as soon as you can't populate the board for that one turn, then it's going to have the Drummer Knot. Like, it's just super deadly in that regard. And then we have the Might Makes Right. We also have a Key Abduction, which isn't entirely offline, especially because we have like Double Collector Worm, which isn't going to leave field much. Double Mars First can archive that Key Abduction
Yep.
with the Proliferator. We also have the No Drone, which is really interesting to get your opponent's one of your opponent's archives purged.
It's also
A little
interesting to
bit
note
less
that.
like
Oh,
yeah,
sorry. It's
good.
also interesting to note because, like, obviously we're looking for the Coward's End, right? They don't want to leave the board clear for the double drummer, double ganger knot combo, but they also don't want
Yeah.
damage their whole board. Says the Martinis Amber gets to go off for a lot of value.
Yeah, I think that would be the least of my worries playing against this thing,
I agree, but
which sounds funny.
you are living in their head a little bit for how you play against this.
Yeah, but I'd rather have problems with one card versus, a ton.
For yeah,
But yeah, yeah, what would be the game plan against this thing though? Um, like how do you attack it? And when you think about it, there's not a ton of ways to do so. You playing flood against it isn't going to work great. Playing
no,
rush against it, something like ban wrench, I guess, right? Like you would have to be like equally aggro to take it out,
yeah.
you
I
know?
think Ban Wrench or Right or both would give that deck trouble. However,
Yeah, I think I think that the key cheats and right.
yeah,
You would basically have to like rush, but I mean the 21 creatures. It'd be interesting to see if that matchup happens. But yeah, I don't know. I'm like theory crafting how to attack that deck, and it's tough, even though it has this like huge deficiency. Um, it's so good at attacking and getting those key cheats off. Key cheats are just as good as Amber Control, which is something that I learned really early in my like playing career. It was like, I don't know, if I can forge my key, then it really doesn't matter that I don't have A.
yep, Hondo P.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
yep. No, because I mean, yeah, it's like a Untamed Rush. If the Untamed Rush has key cheats, doesn't matter. Also doesn't matter what the opponent has.
We had a question from Ketzer, which is, if you have a key imp preventing you from forging, but you sacrifice it with Might Makes Right, can you destroy? I mean, can you forge then? And the answer, I believe, is no, because your creatures are tagged for destruction with Might Makes Right. Um, right. So like Might Makes Right destroys them. Can you pull up the wording of Might Makes Right, just so I'm sure? Okay, you may sacrifice any number of creatures with a total power of 25 or more. If you do, so wait, sacrifice is the same as destroyed in
Sacrifice
Q4, so
is
you
the
may
same as
destroy.
Destroy, right? So I think
Yeah,
in order
they're
for
just
this
tagged.
to resolve, the creatures have to move to a zone of have to move to the destruction has to resolve first, and then it checks.
Yeah.
Same as
Um.
with Essence Scale. Like if the creature's not destroyed on Essence Scale, like actually moves to the out of play zone.
Oh yeah. Oh, so it would go through.
Yeah, it would go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's if you do, you may sacrifice it. Yeah, because then it checks and then you forge. Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally
Yep.
right.
And we got some confirmation from Quick Draw here as well that I guess
Yeah.
it does support that.
Yeah.
I just have a lot of experience
Yeah.
with Essence Scale, and I know I have a deck with Essence Scale that likes to ward all of its creatures with a Forge Compiler, and it actually makes it's actually a really annoying thing because the wards all stop for the wards all stop at Essence Scale from getting maximal value.
Hmm. That's pretty
Um,
sweet.
yeah, and Dataforge here
Yeah.
suggesting Orb of Invidious to take down Lorien.
Orb of Invidious, the stonks are going up, man. I have
Yeah,
a Genko with it. I have a Genko with it, and like they tried to. I think it might have been this deck. I played against a really good Drummer Knock Angry Chieftain thing, and then they were just like, "Oop, damn it!" Like because then it stuns.
yeah,
It's really good against Mass Mutation. It really, really is.
yeah,
This
absolutely.
deck though has destroyed them all, and it also has remote access, which doesn't matter against Orb, but it can just bing bang boom pop that artifact.
Yep.
Have a nice
And
day.
and so I
So
know some specific notes from JT on And then currently, so for JT, I know their general thought process going into this was, they said it was a little bit experimental, but they
Yeah.
wanted to see that they specifically tried to target the good decks. So that is a lot of flood.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Um, this is an attacking style, and he got two ridiculous Kodos instead.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So which I think is so interesting. Obviously, this experimental strategy has worked out phenomenally throughout the league, because here they are in the finals. Now,
Yeah,
obviously, both these two, right? We see two off-meta picks, or off-meta picks, right? Or if you're expecting
yeah.
a good value decks at board flood as being like sort of like the meta right now, these two are attacking this from different opposite axes.
There's a lot of that in KFPL right now. Before I'll just wrap this before we get to the game. But like, there's a lot of that in KFPL right now. We just had the Archon tournament in which two AOAs were in the finals, and that like anti-meta stuff it's happening. Like it really is happening. These decks are highly effective if you just decide to play aggro, and like that's happening at the highest levels of Archon right now in the game. So I wouldn't be surprised if that translates to like live tournaments being even more aggro than they used to be, because like you take away scaling in the best set, and then okay, if you're going to take away scaling in the best set, then we're going to have to attack it that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see what happens.
Yep. And welcome in, Ambermedes. Welcome into the KFPL finals casting. And we'll
Woohoo!
see. We'll see if I know Jtrussell said they might be around, so we can hope that they do. They do eventually show up.
So cool too. Yeah, I mean, we got 10 viewers before the game even starts. Let's get into this.
Yep. Sounds good to me. All right. And yeah, I think that's all good. Sound, and we'll start the watch party. And it does look like my camera is going a little nuts,
Happens to the best of us.
so I'm gonna turn that off for now. And then we
Y'all
should
will
be
just have to
getting in
look at
here. I'll
me.
mute Jtrussell so you don't have to hear them. Actually, we can hear them from the beginning while they're going through the ban process.
This is
Can you hear the audio from it, Karen?
I don't have the
I don't know if I'm sharing with you the audio.
yeah. No, I mean, it's best to not do that actually.
Actually, that's true.
Yeah.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Sloppy Lab for an early morning edition. This is I guess we'll call this an unofficial recording coverage.
Oh, he's actually pretty quiet compared to us as well. But on top of that, we can skip here a little bit to the bans. So again, we went through there. If you would like to hear Jtrussell's thought process, then we will have
In Dawson.
that will be available on the Sloppy Lab channel once after this goes live. I don't know if it's an exact 1-to-1 timing, but somewhere around that.
Okay, so we got a ban of Right and a ban of Aslan. It's really interesting he didn't ban Wrench, but he goes for Right. Aslan, I think, is an obvious ban in this lineup. You just had to ban it. What are you thinking?
I agree. I think I know Jtrussell specifically said that Right provided some very the board clear was specifically their most concerning piece. Interestingly enough, in Right, where they were super concerned about just the rush and them not really being able to handle it, because if they couldn't get out in front of it with their brig, or even if they could get out in front of it with their brig, it might not matter.
Yeah. And then you just get doorstepped.
Yeah.
Seed and stuff.
Exactly.
It's interesting. Yeah, it matters more. This kind of deck matters more to a lineup like JT, who's playing like anti-meta. Yeah.
Yep.
This deck really matters.
So essentially, the Lorien, the Right was going to give Lorien a lot of trouble, And then for Aslan, basically, yeah, if the doorstep is well timed, that's probably game over.
Yeah, that's very true.
So that was not
And
worth the
keep sheet
risk.
really hurts it too.
Exactly. And so Jtrussell was of the opinion that they only thought they had favorable matchups after the ban phase.
Yeah.
And then, interestingly enough, ban wrench into Lorien was the unfavored lineup here.
Yeah.
And so we have
Yeah, I mean,
Hydro.
that makes sense.
And so we have Hydro here banning Aslan.
Yep.
So Aslan is out from Jtrussell, which is a double break deck, and then Elright is out for Hydro.
Right. So we've got Ban Wrench and Dawson. Order is going to be interesting here, where you go. I would rather play Ban Wrench first to give it 2 chances if it doesn't fire. Like, get yourself, like, it's going to get you a win if you play it twice, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's what I would take.
And so for the selection, we'll see what we do end up getting here in the deck selection phase.
That's certainly like my thought with like decks that can roll like that, where the library access can just win a game for you.
Yeah.
Because remember in Triad, something that I think makes this the most, like, one of the best formats. Certainly, I think like the best official format, like playing Triad or Triad Best of One, when it was official. You just, like, in Triad, like Best of 3, you have to win with both of those decks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it really makes you like really have these like scrappy battles and like suboptimal matchups and stuff. I think it's really nice. We'll see what they go with though.
Yeah, I'll be very curious. So we can skip ahead here.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, yeah, Jtrussell went with T Zyger, and Hydro came in with Ban Wrench.
Yeah, those are the leads that I would go with too.
Yeah.
Because Zyger, you don't want it to just get bodied by Ban Wrench. Basically, both players are kind of thinking the same thing here. Just like, Ban Wrench is probably the thing that you play first, and just like, okay, let me give it a chance to beat it. Yeah. I think Zyger has a better matchup into it than the Mass Mutation. I mean, yeah, sorry, than the what was his other one? The Aslan. Oh yeah.
Lorien.
And the really like aggro Drummerknot thing. So it's like
Lorien.
Yeah, the aggro Drummerknot thing is gonna get wrecked by Ban Wrench.
Yeah, because I think that was that was basically the Ban Wrench Lorien was the matchup that Jtrussell did not want to happen.
Yeah, you just can't. Yeah, you can't let that happen. Makes total sense. And like, if you're Hydro, you're basically legally obligated to play Ban Wrench first because it's a combo deck and it might not fire.
Exactly. Yeah, you need to give it 2 shots.
Yeah, you need to give it 2 shots. So that's really good on both players. Just, I think you give a slight edge to JT there though, knowing what he's going to get. I think he has a better chance of knowing what he was going to get and making decisions based on that. We'll see if it matters though.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We'll see once we get into the game. And again, Jtrussell will also be giving their more detailed thoughts. So if you're interested in hearing those, check it out after well, eventually whenever that video goes up. You have to keep an eye on the Sloppy Loudberg YouTube channel, and for that, I recommend subscribing to it. And while you're at it, subscribe to the Swindle Dust Chronicles as well.
Hey. Do you have a rooting interest here? Not between the players, but between the decks.
You know what? No. I personally, I'm not always a huge fan of. Wow, I got the Ultra Gravitron in hand starting, by the way.
Let's go. And another 2 cards. 7 card archive turn 1. No biggie.
Yeah, no biggie. Easy. And a card draw.
With a draw enhancement.
Yeah. Man, this is gonna be brutal.
We cannot see Hydro's hands, but we will be seeing JT's hands.
Yeah. So we will be criticizing every single decision JT makes.
Yep.
Okay, Fire Spitter
Yeah,
off the bat
nice.
from Hydro.
It's maybe slightly lower impact.
Arguable.
So it is interesting, like whether you play this.
The real question
I
here
was
is,
wondering,
Karen, is it?
math-wise,
Yeah,
whether you play with the draw or the archive. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that. I don't think it matters though.
So I'm thinking if you have both halves of Grav and a card to archive cards, you're probably not going to draw logos off of that draw. Yeah, I don't think it matters. I don't think you have enough information, basically.
Well, I think you have. I think you're forced to play the It's Coming first because off the off chance.
Oh, if you archive the half of Grav.
Yeah, you are forced to.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is would be hilarious if that had happened.
Oh man, no. Yeah, you're absolutely forced to play it first. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I have to do that checklist when I'm playing Separador because Separador has like 8 draw enhancements, and it also does have an eclectic inquiry. We got 7 cards in archive. We have the Anthony archive, the Mutagenic Serum with the daughter. Jeez.
And we got the Waking Nightmare and the Quintrino Flux.
Yeah, good, really good archives, especially to have that Anthony stashed in archive.
Yeah, wow.
Really good. We'll see what direction you go there, because you kind of have to be a little patient though.
Off of Eclectic and Ultragraph, this is not a muddy archive.
I think that's pretty good. I don't know.
That's really good. You know, that also means the rest of your draws are going to be clumped.
I don't know, because you could just play Star Alliance right now without taking the archive.
Yeah, but then you have what, 7 of your Star Alliance gone?
Yeah, that's the idea, because then you're unclumped.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that just mean after that, like with that clean an archive, like you're looking pretty.
Oh, you're saying it's clean. I thought you were saying the opposite. I'm sorry.
No, I'm thinking it's clean.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, you do have to make a pretty difficult decision here, though, as to whether to take this archive or not.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to get out ahead of this thing. Looking at the power levels, he's seeing how much more bored am I going to get.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a red alert enough.
Well, it's like he can use Quintrino he can plop the Anthony down and then use Quintrino to kill 6s and 5s.
Yeah.
So he's basically like, is that worth losing my Anthony? And against this deck, probably, actually.
Probably, yeah.
And you get the double draw there. And then the Trigon comes down. Real nasty stuff.
Probably don't want to be putting that access denied on Ultra Gravitron.
Yeah, I guess that would be a misplay with the access. No, he got the access denied. Did he have it?
I think he did. So that is a misplay.
Yeah.
Playing the access denied, okay. Does play the access denied onto the secure droid.
It's very unlikely that he'll play Star Alliance next turn anyway. Like, it's not a huge thing. I doubt that this has any impact on the game, frankly. Get the full moon, pop a few creatures down.
And you're pretty.
This is the downside of playing combo. Sometimes you just like have those hands where you're just like, yeah. And I think you go logos.
Purge the Wits of the Eye.
Yeah. I don't know which one of these you taunt. You can't get anything in archives, so you just have to fight it.
Just have to fight it. Unfortunate.
So we do Tirado under taunt. That's interesting. That says a lot about like what kind of deck this is, like which one of those is most important.
Yeah.
We get the library access turn with a wild wormhole. We'll see how far we can combo off here.
Wild wormhole plays Mother, unfortunately.
Wild wormhole plays Positron. Ooh. Yeah, you're right. You're getting those logos off of the wormholes, which is not what you want. Yeah.
No, that is not efficient.
We will get a check at the very least. Oh, that's pretty brutal though. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, that's not looking good. because now these you can send the Infernuses down to get those wormholes out of the way. You can start to take pretty substantial control. You might want to consider taking the full moon out of the game against this thing so that it can't key cheat you later. But you've got 2 Infernuses to do that. You've got 2 Infernuses, and you've also got the Mutagenic. So yeah, you can just crack that, draw a few more cards.
Totally worth it to crack that Mutagenic here.
Yeah, I can't say I know the deck well enough. Mutagenic is one of the most complicated cards in the entire game. But I think 3 draws is almost always going to be worth it.
I don't actually know how many draw enhancements. I don't remember off the top of my head how many draw enhancements are in Zyger.
I can find out. It wasn't a ton, I think, actually.
So they ping the 1 off the Dexter, and they get that pain reaction value, and then
5.
dunk the 5. Okay.
Yeah, and I think you obviously take out both of those wormholes, but I would start taking creature control at that point. Maybe
barehanded comes down, which makes sense.
Barehanded is an interesting choice. Why do you care? Oh, I mean, you have Jar, but
Jar, TP, Animator.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather get one of those full moons out of the game. Really good call here. Playing the what's the name of that card? The one that ups cost with the disc creatures.
Waking Nightmare.
Yeah. So playing the Waking Nightmare against, he knows that he very likely could have a big hand of Untamed.
Yep.
So you prevent that key cheat, or at least you make it super expensive. Because the only way you're getting like bodied at this point is if he like pops off a free key on you.
Yeah, exactly.
But this should be I think this is a pretty easy win from here on out for JT.
Yeah, I think Band Wrench just did not fire this game.
Yeah, but that's why you give a combo deck 2 chances.
Yep.
We'll probably see it fire off game 2. Like I'd be pretty surprised. We also have a good matchup for it. We know that game 2, if it does lose, that it's going to get its good matchup.
Yeah, also very true. But, it does have to go through Zyger.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. Like,
yep.
You're just like, neither of my decks love playing this thing. It would have been perhaps a really interesting call from Hydro to, like, not play his combo first, because it seems so obvious that he would.
Yeah,
I wonder if you can I wonder if you could kind of get away with something sneaky there. We can actually purge. What did you purge? You purge Mother. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess at this point,
fight Wish the Eye and then purge Mother.
I guess at this point it doesn't matter a ton. Knowing that the regrowth is out, purge logo stuff. But like the interesting thing, I think I disagree with some of the purge choices because you're kind of speeding up his deck by purging like just logos. You know what I mean? At a certain point, you like make their hands efficient, and I don't think that like that Mother matters very much compared to like a Witch of the Eye or something. I don't know, but honestly, at this point, I think he just wins so hard that it barely matters.
Yeah, I guess it's an interesting discussion with something like the Untamed, and just not wanting larger hands to get closer to it.
That's true, but the only thing that wins this game is like some crazy double key cheat in the Untamed at this point. And yeah, I guess you're right. I guess the Mother, like I would just fight the Mother and kill it and probably purge the Witch, I guess is what I'm saying. But like I would have purged the full moon to make sure it was out. But now he has the Jar. So the Jar, this is good though, because getting the barehanded is correct. So I want to give him props for something that I wasn't sure about earlier. Getting the barehanded is correct because now you can just jar the full moon or whatever, or you can just jar the Chota.
Yeah, and I mean at this point in the deck, right, they're through the deck. So what
do you jar here? Because you're jarring something in Untamed, right? to just prevent the key cheats, but like maybe pixies.
It's a wonderful question. I actually do not know. What do you think? What do you think, Jar? We can take a second and look at that. So if you're looking at
Yeah.
ban wrench,
Yeah. So you got rid of the barehanded, which is good because now your jar totally sticks. Both wild worm, two or
two
three
wild
wild
wormholes
worm
are out of the game.
wormholes are good. I think you just do the dust pixies because you haven't seen them yet. And then that puts 2 pips each in the discard for your Infernuses to nom on.
Yeah, and that's both the Infernus is gone right now though.
Yeah, I mean it's tempted to just yeah, but you can cycle them. That's
Oh yeah, for sure.
enough. But like I think you just take the pixie, but it's very very tempting to just lock down Chota to make sure that the keys can never be cheated.
Yeah, or Nature's Call as well.
Yeah, I mean you only have 1 copy of that, but I think you jar the double dust pixie. I think you just jar the double dust pixie, puts 2 pips each in there, makes it useless, makes the Chota so much less potent. You know that he hasn't played either one yet, so they're probably in his hand, which makes it all the more effective. I think you just do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what JT and JT. We have JT in the chat representing Slappy Lab Work. They're asking what the JT misplay count is up to. The answer is infinite.
Like 1. Like literally 1.
I don't think there is one, is there?
When he
oh right, the
access denied.
Yeah, you missed the access denied onto the enemy creatures.
Yeah, and that's it.
It's
been really clean.
So we'll see what
we'll point it out though. No mercy going forward here.
So we've hit that. We've hit the see what the jar calls.
And he goes Dust Pixie? Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's the right call, like, pretty obviously.
So,
like I said, it's slightly tempting to get Chota, but Chota is so much less effective when he's got 2 dead Dust Pixies in his hands. And then I would ram those Infernuses into something to make sure that I redraw them.
Yeah, that's exactly what JT seems to be doing.
Yeah, beautiful play. Beautiful play. And it also just keeps things from reaping.
Just one.
Oh, he reaps with the other one? Oh, just to check. That makes sense. For me, I don't even know I don't know this deck well enough to know how many checks it can cover. Yeah, well, you're playing against something with so little Amber control. Yeah, I mean, you just check.
Yeah, they probably can't take you off.
Yeah, because he's got like no A in that deck.
What is the A, to be honest?
Dexter.
Dexter, yeah, there we go. They got Dexter. Yeah, and that check goes through.
Yeah, so that makes sense. You got to think totally different when you're playing against something that has so little A. We have Crump and Dexter. That's the A. That's it.
Crump's already gone, right?
So as wicked and scary as that thing is, that's all it's got.
Yep. As long as you can get to 6, you're probably good.
Now that access denied, coming back to bite him.
True,
oh, that's Observe Your Max now.
Yeah,
okay,
the other one's already dead.
Yeah.
That would have been funny, though.
That would have been really funny.
And capturing onto the Picaroon.
I wonder why not the Grav.
Yeah, I also wonder why not the Grav. Maybe they just expect the Grav to be a target of C, whereas the Picaroon is a low-value target.
Picaroon's technically bigger, I guess, but it's got the damage. Oh, maybe this Banrich doesn't have a Coward's End or anything. No. Yeah, I couldn't tell you why.
And there might not be much reason at all behind it.
Yeah. I just think I think at this point your lead is just so substantial.
Yeah.
You're just not even thinking about it.
It does sort of feel like you got the game in the bag.
Especially with those Dust Pixies guard now. If he had the Dust Pixies, he would have a chance because he could probably like pop off like a key.
Logos.
What?
No, he didn't. He didn't pick Logos. He just hovered it. Honestly, this JT does this a lot. And watching the bottom of the beaker games, JT will hover a different house than he's going to pick all the time, and it is something that I have noticed as a spectator. It really gets the blood pressure up.
Yeah. Yeah, you see that discard all like sorted out because the logos has been purged.
Yeah, you know what, JT, it works. Does trigger the spectators, but it only triggers the ones who are actually paying attention. So
Yeah. Quick show of hands. Who's paying attention?
I'm paying attention.
So JT, have you ever played Control the Week on stream and said the correct house, but then clicked the wrong house?
I know I have done similar things myself on stream.
Much
So
profanity happens. He does go logos.
Oh, he's bouncing the grav. That's why.
Oh, that's ridiculous. I didn't even see that combo in that deck. I'll be totally honest.
Yeah, this is like
oh man, go right to hell with that.
This is like JDG's Quixel deck.
Oh, that is fucked.
Oh, and capture onto the platform, so like, Amber's just gone from the game.
That's cool as shit. Oh my god. That is cool.
That's nice, yeah.
All
right.
That is not a trick I've seen before. What the hell? Mass mutation. I hate mass mutation. Animator, man, Animator is like primo Keyforge. Like, in what other game would you ever put something like that in your deck?
Oh, I know. I mean, look at the. Imagine if there was double animator here though, so they could bounce the jar and they could animate the jar and the platform.
What would animating the jar do for you?
To relock something down.
Yeah, but you can't pop it into your hands.
No, if you animated both.
Yeah. But then you couldn't play it in.
You play the next turn.
Like, you couldn't play it in the same turn.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's a fantasy anyways. It's a double rare. It's like that is 3 rares.
I mean, you know.
Statistics.
Yeah. Something stats. We do see a check, which is something to, consider.
That is very noteworthy.
Yeah, and like JT's kind of needs to be careful here, honestly. Has a huge hand, but I mean, we have the Anthony. I would be tempted to put that down, if I could, but I don't know. He's kind of in a little bit of a tenuous situation, actually, because
now it goes logos.
It makes sense.
Yeah, don't disagree.
Yeah, but you got to be really careful here to prevent yourself from getting key cheated. And then you can archive something. And
then you grab purge something.
Yeah, you just get rid of this, and then you can purge. Maybe it's like Dexter just to get the amber.
Yeah, I guess if all you're looking to do is check for third key and say like, hey, if you can't key cheat next turn, then I win.
I think that's your best call.
Because they can get to 7.
Yeah, I think you basically just check, and then if you can cheat the key, but like he can't play Dust Pixies, so it's very unlikely.
Yeah, and I think at this point, they did actually just show the grave. They did just show the discard for Hydro, but I think there's still a full moon live.
I think we've seen both of them, but
I'd have to skip back and see, but
yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. We have a cap there. Interesting weakness of this deck is like the A is not great. Like the A is not like profoundly good in JT's Russell's deck here. I think that is the way to kind of get past it. So I think Banrich had a really legitimate chance, but it needed to combo, and it just didn't.
Yeah.
And then the daughter like barely matters. at the moment at least. And yeah, I mean, you just check at 6, and it's very unlikely.
and
There's
Hydro
the
concedes.
concession
Yep.
from Hydro, yeah.
That's a GG.
Can't cheat the key. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much impossible to get the key cheat, but he does get the second key. Interesting. We'll see where they go for game 2 here. Yeah, ban wrench. Yeah, ban wrench is crazy. It's something I said in the beginning, like before you hopped in. I was just like, the deck can beat anything. So you play it first, and then if it doesn't high roll, you play it a second time, and then you win. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I think you would have to get profoundly unlucky to lose 2 games in a row with that deck against almost anything. Makes it really, really valuable.
Yeah, and I think that I think that the I think it was definitely helped just like Banwrench just did not fire. But now Banwrench has its preferred matchup against Lorien.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, that's interesting.
And then Lorien, if Lorien loses here, then it has a second shot as well.
Yeah, it does.
So.
It's Irish soda bread season.
I didn't know that was a
I think
season.
you mulligan the hell out of that hand.
Yeah, I don't think you keep this at all. What an opener. That's a bit better.
That's a lot better, yeah.
You can tuck that Coward's End away.
Standardize archive it.
Oh, do you care about the... Yeah, and discard like the collector worm or the proliferator. Probably want to discard.
You'd probably keep the proliferator, but because your board isn't going to stick around very much. Or you can go Mars was the other line I was going to say.
Oh, now you got your.
It makes your standardize a little less effective though.
It does. It does.
But he's got the Logos hand to reward himself, so.
Yeah, pat on the back, and then he can time traveler, destroy it, get it back.
Oh, we get an early LA again. That's a little brutal. Let's see if we do any better.
I actually didn't check if that was a mulligan for Hydro either.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Maybe this is just gonna work out. He got 2 wormholes and he's hitting non-logos cards. Very surprised. I mean.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty good though. That's pretty good because he'll probably cheat a key next turn.
Yeah.
With that, though the full moon didn't give him any creatures really. I think bullet dodge though in general for JT, you got to be like pretty happy about the whole situation. We get the time travelers played.
Oh, and we get the Library of Babel activation here too.
Hey, thanks for the draw. Thank you very much.
Very nice. Could standardize again here.
If
you want to.
I think
well.
That might actually make sense.
And then you protect your proliferator as well.
Alone. Yeah, that's like worth a lot in this deck. And then I think you just archive the Coward's End.
Yeah, I personally think I would. And discard like the.
And you can toss.
No drone.
Maybe the no drone. Yeah. Thinking like, what am I gonna draw? But like, the Mars first is a little too valuable with the proliferator out, because if it lives, that's just too good. I guess you could think about the Grok, but like, Bravnar board is really valuable. The no drone just doesn't do as much for me.
Yeah, discards the Grok. Okay.
But he does toss the Grok. Interesting.
I guess if your logic is like, hey, if I, okay, it doesn't live anyways, but like, if I'm reaping with the Mars first, then maybe there's a shot that you can just archive the no drone anyways.
Yeah. We get a big Bravnar hand, which kind of has to be answered a bit. We get to destroy the mall, which will be good. But the worst case scenarios for JT were really dodged, honestly. Like it never fired off for, key cheats during an LA turn. I think you can't play an LA that early with something like Ban Wrench. I mean, if you draw it, I guess you just have to do it, but an early LA twice in a row is pretty brutal, honestly.
Yeah. And then I have a feeling the no drone isn't going to be discarding anything.
Yeah, no.
But they get
me
up to
just
6
read
here,
code
which means
eight.
this key is probably going to forge. Or sorry, 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll get through against Ban Wrench, and that's what you got to do. You also have your key cheats online, which is going to be really important against Ban Wrench to just get this game over with. If you want to get out in just a 2-0 fashion.
Yep.
He's not in a horrible position to do it. This Brobnar is pretty intimidating, though. But
And forges
that was a
red.
weird. That was a weird turn. That was a weird turn.
That was. But
That's interesting.
JT forging the red key after the Slappy Law Work motto.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just hoping to draw one more Untamed and like get one more piece to do like a double key cheat or something.
That's what I feel like that's what it feels like to me. They're really trying to just like get their
Yeah, that was definitely combo fishing. As
Yeah.
one combo player to another, I know when
Yeah.
you're like on your bullshit.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
not necessarily good
he's
options
like, oh, I
here.
already got a drummer knot. I want a chieftain. Wrong
Yeah.
thing.
I guess you take the collector worm.
Part of me just wants to take the standardized, so I have another card to toss actually, and get me
Yeah, it's
into
actually just slightly more efficient.
Yeah, to just like, cause it's so important to get to a Gengar. I'm just like, just let me take.
Yeah, no, that's
Let
actually
me
very
take a
fair.
standardized and then just toss it.
Yeah.
But there's an argument for Worm. I don't think there's much argument for Drummer Knot.
Yeah, they do take
Yeah,
standardized.
you just take your standardized and you toss it. Yeah, just get you to a Drummer Knot. Because you're very likely to draw one, but you of course don't. Oh my god.
And there's the Calfine. Love to see it.
I'm so sorry, JT. We were fishing for our bullshit here. We go full moon.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Dust Pixie.
This is it. Chota?
Oh, did we just do this?
Yeah.
Do we just do this now? No.
Okay.
Oh, I was hoping. That's a very substantial move though, because that's just a key.
Yeah. That's it.
And it's not like JT's sitting here with a ton of amber control himself, so I think you just go Mars and then you try to get your like might makes right key cheat, but like
both these decks have like 1.5 amber control.
Yeah, I don't know what your like play is. This is so interesting to see this happen like in the finals because it's just like
everyone's just YOLOing it.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, it works. It's very interesting strats from both players. Very unorthodox, but that makes it hard to respond to, honestly. You bring something balanced against this and you just get bodied. It sort of looks balanced because they both brought like crazy aggro, but like
yeah.
Imagine if you were playing this against just like a mid-range. Like it would just be like, zoom. Like, we're only on turn 5. Okay, so here, I mean,
is the MMR
here you
alive
have
here?
your drummer knot.
Well,
you've
honestly, my question is more like, is the MMR, how alive is the MMR? Because if they can MMR here and drummer knot, okay, so it won't be full that then.
So what if you like fire your creatures into like you use your
Calfine to fight?
No, you use your Calfine to do some damaging. Make sure that the Chota is off the board. Wait, I don't know if they've played the regrowth yet. But check for the regrowth. But if they've played the regrowth already, oh wait, no, you've got the Coward Tent. Yeah, no, you just clear this board. You
drop down the Ganger Chieftain to fight with like a Collector Worm or something to pick up that Crump.
It can't pick up the Crump. You just need to.
Oh, you're right.
But you just launch a Calfine into it.
Yeah.
Should do the job.
Well. No, you don't want to launch Calfine because that'll turn off the Coward's End, so probably Ogopogo.
No, I mean, you play Coward's End and then you launch the thing into it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I
can't see if that's 11 or 12 power, though, which matters here.
11. It's a Crump, which is 6 plus 5, so...
Yeah, so it does fine. You have Ogo Pogo anyway. But either way though, yeah, I think you just cowards and do your drummer not. I know he's counting, but like it's almost less important.
Wait, I mean, it is right live, right? You got 5, 10, 15. No, it's not. 21?
Yeah, it's not live, yeah.
It's not live at all.
Yeah, so like you basically, what you would do is you do your drummer knot turn to check, clear the board, and then hope to draw a little bit more for might makes right, and then you like hold the might makes right. Is what I'm thinking. So like you coward's end, launch a Cowfine into it, play the rest, drummer knot, Granger Chieftain. What's your line?
Or you archive, you take your archive here and abduct the Chota.
But no, because it's just like you can't do anything if he checks. Like remember, you have no A, so
Yeah,
you need
that's
key
awkward.
2. Like you need key 2 to start your next turn, and then you need to cheat.
What an interesting matchup.
Yeah, no, it's super cool.
Oh wait, but no, that can actually still work though, because if you've combat pheromones.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So you might want to do that. You're right. Just to get rid of the Chota, to get the Chota out of the game.
Yeah.
But it might be more. I guess no, it doesn't matter. The reaping doesn't really matter. Okay, what if you? Does might make right go off? If hold up. If with the other things on the board, does might make right go off without playing the?
So this is 2, 4, 6. Does an extra 6 get them there? That's 5, 10, 16, 21.
Yeah, so it gets you there. So here's the thing: you could actually, So here's your play. You reap with the combat pheromones, and then you send the Ganger into fight, and then you might makes right. You get your key and you check at 6.
Isn't it live anyway here? So because 5, 10, it's like 5, 10, 11, 5, 10, 16, or 5, 10, 15.
Right, and then Ogo Pogo.
Plus an Ogo Pogo, which is 21, plus Drummer Knot, which is 27.
Yeah, you're like way over.
So you have MMR.
No. I'm saying like you can keep your guys on board. It doesn't have to just be Broadnar. So you can use your combat pheromones to reap. And then when you play Might Makes Right, that's going to take you to 6 Amber. You get a free key and you cheat the key. So like you actually like give up on your Drummer Knot.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess but they still have to throw back to you for you to win. So I still would like to abduct that Chota.
Sure, but you can do that. You can just put a Ganger down and fight with the worm.
True, that is true. Yeah, true.
So like none of that is mutually exclusive. So yeah, you get the Chota out of the game. You know that they can't cheat. You check and get your free Might Makes Right key right now, and then just say, hey, the only thing you could possibly have is Dexter.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think. That's what I think my line is. But
all right, we'll see what JT does actually end up going with.
Yeah. There's a couple valid lines there. Like obviously you could just go for the Drummer Knot thing, but I think this works. The other line would be to use the Cowfine to put some damages out and like make your Marzian's Amber alive, but I don't think that that's what you do here.
Okay, so we got the combat pheromones getting popped. Okay, chooses to reap with both.
Yeah. And then so yeah, you just use your Ganger to fight with the to fight with the worm to get the Chota out of the game. And then do your Might Makes Right.
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me.
You can also do some fancy footwork with the Drummer Knot to like splash a little bit of damage around, make sure that your Mars Needs Amber is like online if you need it.
Yeah, just in case.
But like the Chota needs to die. It's like it needs to be archived. Just make sure that they can't get it back.
lots of math going on here. As someone who's played MMR, okay, here comes the cat fine. Oh, chooses to not trigger the King or Chief.
Oh no.
Is that a misplay then? That King or Chief?
Yeah. No, it's a misplay.
Sheesh.
But we're sitting here very comfortably. That's
Yeah.
a very hard play to find. Also, you can save yourself right now. Like if you play the drummer now, you can pop
you're fine.
yeah, and then you can pop the Gengar back to your hand to like get the thing. Like
Okay, no, we're just going for it.
why the drummer not then? Okay,
Nope.
yeah, and then now he can regrowth the Chota maybe. I don't know what if he has it, but yeah, you could. That's you just gotta stash that Chota away.
Yeah.
Need to hit Dexter, says Hydro.
Oh, interesting.
So he doesn't have any way to get back to it.
Hits Dexter.
Oh my god!
I'd love to see it.
Okay, wait, but you have the Mars Needs Amber.
Oh yeah. Heart of the cards though, baby.
But then he has another chance to get his key cheat, which he probably has now.
Yeah,
But,
odds are. The
but,
JT in chat saying that he should have archived Chota there on that turn.
Yeah, and then is he gonna get key cheated?
Yeah, no way this. Yeah, Untamed.
Yeah, click
Yeah.
Untamed. Oh, done. Yeah.
Yeah, regrowth. There it is.
Oh, that's so painful. Oh man.
When you know what, that probably would have actually with the Dexter gone, that actually would have been a GG for JT on that turn.
Oh, it would have been. It would have been.
Yeah.
But the yeah, you gotta archive that Chota, but like it's a really tight, precise play under huge pressure.
Oh.
When you're already trying to make a very complicated calculation there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, no hate at all. Like, really, really fantastic player, and also really, really tight play by Hydro to make sure to keep himself alive with 2 suboptimal rolls on Ban Ranch. So no hate to anybody, and that gets us a game 3, which is what we want as broadcasters.
Absolutely.
You just want more chances to hear our lovely voices.
The dulcet tones of the Swindledoss Chronicles.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was a really close game.
Can I get some game 3 hype in there though? Like some kind of. Yeah, can I some kind of emotes?
Lots of all the emotes.
All I see is Cat Jam.
Let's see. Maybe we can get some more. Can we get some PogChamps in the chat? Maybe we can get some more
I'm liking the snake
inspiring music for game 3.
Interesting though. I mean, yeah, we do see he could have locked it away there, but at the same time, it was such a tight game between 2 completely aggro decks. Like neither of which really fired, which is really interesting. I think that's a real test of players' talents when you're playing a combo deck, and it's like, can you win when it doesn't fire? And they were both forced to deal with that situation. But now we've got Dawson versus something that's extremely aggro. But Dawson does have all those Infernuses. This will be really, really interesting. I would give an edge to JT, personally. Especially with that opening hand. Holy fuck.
Oh my jeez. Yeah, I would also give a slight edge to JT here.
I can see how Dawson could get the better of him, but I just think there's so much C lurking there that the Infernuses aren't going to do the job fast enough, sort of. We'll see though. I mean, I could see how Hydro could get this game, but I just think the speed that JT's going to toss out there, and like 29A is one thing, but not having scaling is another.
Yeah.
There is a certain sense. You want to mute JT's stream?
It is muted.
It is. I'm hearing music.
Oh, I am playing music. You're watching our stream.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure we're not.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably because the volume on that music is probably a little bit louder.
Yeah. All good. Okay, and yeah, I mean that's about as good of a start as one could hope for. I really like Logos next into this. One of the really nice things about playing aggro decks like that is you basically don't have to think about what your opponent has, like a little bit. You know what I mean? You do, but you don't, right? Because you're just like, logos will get me closer to my combo. Like you're just thinking like, how do I do my thing? How do I do my thing? Kind of like fast enough. Very fortunate draws, unless Hydro's sitting there with all 4 red pennies in hand or something.
Which they very well could be.
It would be an interesting starting hand.
We've seen more.
I remember when the set first came out, and I was like, red penny's the most broken card ever, and it's like, nope.
No, that's
not
actually
even the
that's actually
problem.
that's actually Dav.
Most broken thing. I think the most broken thing in Mass Mutation isn't so much a single card. It's really just like the enhancements as a concept is like pretty broken.
That is true.
Yeah, because it's like Dav, sure, but like it's really but like when you have all the infomorphs giving draws and like I think Cronus. If I had to pick a single card, it would be Cronus. Cronus is the most messed up card in Mass Mutation. It like actually shouldn't exist. As somebody who has a really good Cronus deck, I just we do have one Rad Penny. But yeah, when the set first came out, we're just like, it's just Urchin, but better, and Urchin's the best card ever. Oh, young naivete.
The naivety of youth.
Oh, but God, what a turn here. Finishing
Wow.
blow.
Wow.
Sack coins into finishing blow. That's tough.
That's what you want to be seeing though, is Hydro.
Yeah, I mean it's what you have to do because like basically JT's gonna like he only has offense, right?
Yeah.
And it's basically like, can I play offense faster than you can play defense? Because the longer this game goes, the better it is for Hydro, basically. Like from JT's perspective, and now he's sitting very pretty here. You've got that Brain Eater on a flank, so you can use your Ganger to draw a card too. Very, very likely to get that off, and then Dawson doesn't have much to see. So if you can get this turn rolling, you might be able to take him off check with the Grok, like maybe like Gengar hits Grok. Or if you'd rather draw the card and you don't care about that. But you do, this board is going to keep it from going off now.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything you can do to be clever now.
No, the problem with Sanctum generally is that it does not. Trovernock combos don't like Sanctum.
Can you, you can trigger your Brain Eater to try to get into the Coward's End.
Could do that.
I think that's your best bet. I mean, it's a 1 in 20 chance, but
I mean, in a finals, sometimes you gotta take those.
I mean, you always take it.
That is, she always take a.
Quick Draw says the most broken card that has ever been printed is Evil Witch of the Dawn, and is wrong. Absolutely not.
I don't know. It isn't the best set.
It's like, I mean, if you just want the most broken card ever printed, it's library. It's like library access pre-errata.
Also true.
Like if we're just talking about like ever printed, LA, like without a doubt. I wonder what the huge amount of thought is here, because I don't really see too many lines. I'm just kind of like try to draw Cowards with Brain Eater, play board Flood. Like I don't know what the. Do you have any idea what like the thought is?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of a way to kill the red penny. So I mean, there's a line here.
Oh wait, no, because it's taunted. Yeah, you can't even trigger the Brain Eater.
No.
Because it's
so, like,
it's double taunted. Sorry.
But you
can
do stuff like you can Bramo, Drummerknot, Bramo. Ganger Chieftain.
Okay, yeah, this is where the thought is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically like, can I kill that thing? Yeah.
But it's got
and then
it has 4 armor, 3 armor, sorry, and 3 power.
Right.
Just
So
shoulder
you can
armor.
kill it. You can kill it. But at what cost?
Because then,
I mean, you have to kill the Lorien first. So.
yeah, I think you probably, if you really want to kill it, you probably just have to go Gang or not. Ganger Chieftain to the Brain Eater, and then Drummernaut the Ganger Chieftain back, and then fight like the Cowfine into the arena.
I was just thinking, all you had to do was play the Drummernaut, like play the Drummernaut, and then pop the Bramo back to the hand, and then fight with something. Or you could do it
That
in
would
the
work too. That
It's
would
the
work too.
same play, just opposite order.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Doesn't kill the Red Penny this turn.
It doesn't matter. You just need to threaten to do so. And oh wow, and that was there. So if it weren't for that double taunt, you actually could have gotten to the draw too. Double Doom to return Foozle. Foozle's an interesting call there.
Well, it was Karzan was one of quite a few draws.
Oh no,
so,
I know. No, I mean I'm just it's more like, oh, it could have been.
Yeah.
But no, there was no way to trigger the Brain Eater at all because of the double taunt, so it doesn't matter. But it's just like it's such a niche thing. And then yeah, you go Brobnar without. Like, what else would you do? What else could you possibly do?
Yeah, I feel like there's no hesitation on Brobnar here, but they have low C, so there's an argument to be made for. Oh no, this is Hundo P a Brobnar turn, because you can just Ganger Knot.
Yeah, you can Ganger Knot, and then you can do the Might Makes Right. So there's absolutely no.
And you can end here also with a Foozle for that one extra Amber. You can end your Ganger Knot combo with a Foozle.
Yeah, there's a lot of juicy stuff here, but at the end of the day, we're just going aggro here, And you kill the steel before any of that can get triggered. And then bing bang boom. You got to think here so that you play precisely, but the play is actually not so bad. Like, we all know what needs to happen here. It's just you don't want to like trigger your drummer not in the wrong order and not have your play. Yeah. But all in all, it's gonna just work fine for you here.
I think there was a slight misplay here.
How so?
Because the drummer knot is the one that needs to stay on the field. So
that's fine.
I guess it's the same. I think it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. I guess.
Yeah, it's all gone anyway because you're gonna Might Makes Right it probably.
Yeah, that's fair.
Actually, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't in this situation because this deck has such low C. It doesn't have the board clear, so you can just do it next turn.
And then you can keep the Coward's End in hand. I think there's a very good argument to be made here for keeping the drummer knot, keeping the Ganger Chief in hand on.
I'm definitely not doing that because I want to Foozle the Foozle.
Yeah, that's true. Foozle's a lot of
value.
value.
And then he just keeps it. Yeah, no, that makes sense because you forge, because you could just do it next turn.
Yeah. Dang though.
Steal. Yeah, you just do that.
And then you just say, okay.
Fine, do it again. I think you. It's interesting. Is the board worth keeping even one more time?
No, because they do have C.
They don't have like a clear though.
No.
I think like one of the ways that you lose is if you just like get too scared of. If you like trigger that a little too soon and then you lose the board, which is basically your big advantage. So he's gonna fight. That's interesting.
I think you would just fight with the Cowfine there, right?
You got a couple plays. So I don't think it terribly matters as long as you can trigger the Might Makes Right, which I'm not counting right now. He's counting. He has it. He has the Might Makes Right, so it doesn't matter. Because you're losing everything if he chooses to trigger it. Basically, like you want a Ganger Knot and you want a Might Makes Right here. And then he's gonna use it to bring back the Bramo, but the Bramo you could I think that is a misplay.
I think that's Hundo P misplay.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, no.
I feel like there's a lot more you could have done there.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah, you definitely could have triggered.
That sort of feels like you left like 4 amber on the table.
1, 2. Yeah, and you had the might mix. You basically could have like checked at like 10 and had the might mix right. I think, unless I'm
Yeah.
missing something.
No, I think that's right.
Oh yeah, I see him. You guys can't watch his turn. Tell me when it's over.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. It's good to know that a player of that caliber can make mistakes too.
Yeah, it makes all of us feel a little bit better.
Yeah. That being said, I mean, I think JT's still in a very good place unless he gets bodied with some disc creature control. But again, there's barely any in this deck, so the spike trap is gonna do some damage to keep the drummer knot from being viable. So
yeah, the spike trap will take the drummer knot with it,
which is super annoying. Yeah, and that takes the might makes right off the line. Incredibly tempo killing.
Yeah.
That's enough to swing a whole game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how this turns out, but that's enough to really, really be game ending. But you just go Mars. You just go Mars here. You don't even worry about it too much. And you just check.
Yeah, and you're pretty happy, I think, still overall.
Well, you're playing something that's pretty grindy, but now you're getting 2/2s because you're holding on to the Might Makes Right and the Coward's End that didn't need to be held onto. Like, you're really, really suffering for that turn, but you do still have a pretty substantial lead. You're not getting the key because the Snarette is going to do its thing at the very least, but we've got the double Commandeers, and yeah, it's just
Commandeers is good. Commandeer being on play is great.
Well, it's just like you're so much more effective if you get the Might Makes Right off, because then you would have no board and you would have to standardized into their board. But now it's going to get increasingly difficult to get rid of all of this.
Yeah, I mean we you know, as I know you've mentioned and we will mention many times at this stream, we have the luxury of sitting here and not stressed.
Oh no, yeah, no, I was more speaking for the rest of the game. Like now that you're in the hole, how do you get out of it? And I think the best thing here is you play your Coward's End and then you just fight.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, you probably want to Reaper the Refusal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the one is elusive. You could also
that'll
just
bring you to 7 to 9.
Yeah, you could also just go Mars and abduct stuff.
You could abduct Lorena, and you could abduct Secret Tree?
Yeah. Whichever one you want to do. Probably Snarette so that it doesn't steal from you again.
You can't fight Snarette though, because it's gonna kill it.
Well, either way, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I guess
getting the Amber.
You get
there's
the
no
Amber
difference.
off it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's totally a valid line. I wonder if yeah, I mean, the Coward's End chains are gonna hurt too much, and like maybe you get yourself out of this 2/2/2. You can also, you don't want to discard anything from your archives. Archive a card. You do the Might Makes Right, and you get that moving a little bit. That seems like the least bad play. And of course, you immediately draw your Mars Needs Amber after killing your damage stuff.
Always.
We were thin deck, so we probably should have.
And the rat pennies are going to start showing up again.
I've found that the kind of deck that JT is playing, it's really hard to play in pressure situations because the plays are so precise. Like, when you play something with such low A, it's very unforgiving.
Absolutely.
And, like, you know, it's really gutsy to bring something like this. I don't think that it was a mistake.
So this is when
you
you play
know, for what that's
standardized,
worth.
and you just get all their stuff into the
Okay, you just put the pennies back in their deck if you want.
yeah.
You just can't do it. I think you're just kind of boned. Yeah, like I don't know what your line of play is to get to a win condition at this point. Actually, you're just too far.
There's gotta be something here, right?
How do you get key 2? Key 3 is like not easy to get, but like almost easy to get.
Well,
in
you're currently sitting
comparison to getting
on
key 2.
19 power on board.
Yeah, no. I'm saying like yeah, that's key 3, right?
Yeah.
Where's key 2?
S-
And like to Hydro's credit, Hydro's played clean as hell. It's like real nonchalant turns, very casual pacing. Like no big pauses, pretty much. You know, just
Yeah.
doop doop doop. That's the plus side of playing a deck that has like 29A, and a
And
bunch of
also, like,
creatures. Like it'll do
yeah.
the thing for you.
Well, also just like, you know, if you don't kill the pennies, like, they're just gonna reap for 4.
Yeah, and then you don't have any A. That's
And you're
something
still
that like I just don't think there's any way to win. Like, yeah, I don't see how you win here.
I feel like you just like Coward's End or something.
Coward's End is probably the best play. Because reap Coward's End, yeah. But then you're just not sitting there any closer to getting your key cheat off. I still think you lose, but I think it's the best play. Even though you want to move that logos.
Yeah.
And also, like, yeah, no, he's taking a second to think about, do I give him all those sanctum creatures that I want? And then like it's almost like I guess you reap and try to get your key now, but you're not even drawing another card because like Coward's End, like.
Yeah, this is a tough situation for JT.
Yeah.
They're flashing the draw up there. And you know, there's just no A anywhere in sight.
Yeah, I mean, all you got is that Mars needs Amber.
Yeah, and Furnace here is gonna take him off check anyways.
Yeah.
They might not get to check here in this though. They won't.
Very unlikely.
Okay.
Maybe put Time Traveler back in the deck.
I don't know if that's actually what you want though, because you're trying to
You
get to
try
your
to Igor
your
it.
big Brobnar guys for the MMR.
Right, but it gives you a chance to draw some cards. Because you go like you put him back in the deck and then you Igor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that, and then you can get right, because then you have 2 chances, because you can either
you have a chance to get help from future self.
or yeah.
Because you basically have 2 chances to get Time Traveler if you action him back into the deck, and then you.
And you're like a 2 out of 9.
And then
so
you like Igor, yeah, and then you Igor to reach for one of those 2, and then 2 out of 9 will be Time Traveler.
Yeah, because you're gonna get a 2 out of 9, and then a 2 out of 8, and then a 2 out of 7 chance, cumulatively. Geometrically, I guess. Hypergeometrically.
Don't do it. No, bro.
They did it. They did it.
No.
Well, they might be thinking like, hey, if I can hit the help from future self here, then it's like super high roll.
Yeah, but it's giving you it's only 1 card when you could have had 2 chances there.
Yeah.
You can stash away that
They might be counting here though on getting past the red penny, taking them off line.
Sure, but you need to just. I think you just need to check higher than they can deal with. Like, I mean, not that you can necessarily do that, but giving yourself the chance to help Vindicate yourself was pretty vital, I think. So he's going to get rid of one standardized, and then maybe discard the
kind
other,
of
and
thinking.
then
I'm kind of. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking there you discard the M&A as well.
Well, I mean, you need that out, I think, to just like ram the Collector Worm into something for like one more turn of survival. Like, it's actually really crucial, I think.
Yeah, but how do you get damage onto something in Mars right now?
Yeah, you can't.
You can't. So I think like I think you kind of have to like ditch the M&A, just like really dig, because like I think the MMR is live here now, right? 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 16, 20.
Wait,
1? No.
wait, how are you counting that much?
So it's 5 from Ganger Chieftain, 5 from
Yeah,
Foozle,
5 here, 10.
6 from Ogopogo,
Yeah.
which is 16, 22, and then a Ganger Chieftain is 27. So they got MMR. The MMR is live right now. So I think what you needed to do really, because if they didn't have one of these Brobnar
then
things,
you can just reap. But then you can just reap and check high, and hope to get past it then. If
that's
it is
true. But the Reckless Rizzo here is gonna steal 2.
Ogopogo?
Yeah, I just what I'm saying is that like if in my opinion,
No, I mean Ogopogo can kill, right?
Yeah, so I was just thinking like you're going to be going Brobnar, so like ditching the Marzi's Amber to dig for 1 extra card to guarantee you drew the Ogopogo and Drummerot together.
Yeah, but I mean you get it anyway. But yeah, no, I mean you can kill the Rizzo with Ogopogo here.
Yeah, they're not punished. Like JT isn't punished here for not ditching the.
Yeah,
the
no.
Amber,
I mean, I hear you. No, I mean what you're saying is accurate. I was just more thinking for this exact play right now. Is you just check as high as you can. It doesn't matter if you kill the pennies in the process. You just need to check as high as you can. Get your key. The problem is you're giving him a bunch of Sanctum back because you put the thing in your hand and you're gonna get commandeered.
Yeah.
At least I think. I can't see his discards, but I'm pretty sure he still has 1 left.
Yeah, I think only one. I think we've only seen 1 commandeer.
Yeah.
I think that's also going through JT's head.
Yeah. Can you like set up any damages in this turn? Like you know what I mean? Like thinking ahead. But yeah, no, I mean if you, I think that logo's call.
You fight a red penny here, and then you get the Foozle.
Yeah, well you fight the. You fight a penny to trigger the Ogopogo effect.
That's
to
right.
Kill
that's
the
right.
Rizzo. Yeah.
That's way better.
Just to make sure that 2 can't be stolen. And then that lets you reap Foozle.
And the Ganger Chieftain, and yeah.
Yeah, and the Ganger, I don't know how much you can actually do the Ganger. Like I don't know how much you can actually do.
I don't think you can do it at all. Right, you just have to play the Ogo. You have to bounce the Ogopogo here.
I guess like if you had left the if you like a little bit of a line formation thing, if you had left the Collector Worm on a flank, then maybe you could accomplish more here.
You can't though, because the Cinder's gonna kill it if it fights.
Oh, it has the damage on it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not much that can be done, honestly. So you just play your stuff and you get your might makes right. You check at 9, which is a pretty damn good check.
Yeah, so they're at 24 right now.
Yeah, you had to give him back all that Sanctum. Can you use your... Okay, so here's what you need to do. You need to ram something into him for damage if you can. Yeah, so he's counting to make sure that he has his might make... Like, Mars needs Ember can at least help him with 1 Ember. That's exactly correct. Very clean play. In the recovery there. But we're probably going to see a big Commandeer. The font does nothing, which is good.
Yeah, we don't really want the font doing anything.
I guess you could get really lucky and he just doesn't have it yet. But we've seen... Well, we've seen both Commandeers. Never mind. Both are gone. Both are in the discard. So he might have... Hydro might have no answer here, actually. Believe it or not, with a 29 Amber-controlled deck. But we know that the 2 pennies are in the deck.
Both apprentices are
We
gone.
know that both Commandeers are gone. And then
Hydro forgot to use Font of the Eye last turn. Oh no!
Lost in the game. Wow. Wow.
Oh, rough.
Oh. You know, and we see just how hard Keyforge is at the top level, right?
Yeah.
These are 2 of the best players in the game, like sincerely. And we've seen some substantial misplays because the pressure is on and you have to play cleanly. Triad really stretches you because you're thinking about what decks do I play, in what order, what do I ban?
Wow.
Yeah, and there it is. The KFPL Archon Best of 3 champion is Hydro Attack. That's
no Jtrussell.
Oh, sorry, has Jtrussell. Oh my god, I said the wrong word. Sorry. Oh god.
We're under pressure too. Don't worry.
Yeah, we are under pressure as well. Broadcasting. No, yeah. So in a battle of like just a lot of like calculation with these like low amber control decks and like a lot of calculation in terms of what to ban. We saw the really good ban decisions made and some questionable play decisions. But the misplay costs Hydro at the very, very end. JT takes it. Really interesting stuff.
Yeah, you know what? These aren't long games. This is turn 11.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I think that's about as long as that's about as long as Hydro should have probably been able to 11 turns in, deep enough in the game, and like we do know the font would have been enough.
Yeah, just one amber off, and then GT has no recourse.
Yeah. I knew I said the wrong name immediately when it came out of my mouth. Like no, but yeah. New job woes. I'm still beat on, but this was really interesting. It has me thinking a lot about like, you know, there's a tendency to beat yourself up when you make misplays in general. Like I think we all do. I mean, we want a 0 misplay kind of game, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But I think this really does just showcase like how hard it is to play a perfect triad of Keyforge.
Well,
like
not just that. I mean, like there are decision points all throughout this game that that change the course of it, right? Cycling a few cards, holding on to 1 or 2 cards, right? Like choosing a house order at the beginning. You know, which creature do you drop on first turn? There's so many small decision points that just will change the entirety of the way it goes along.
Yeah. No, I think because I wasn't going for perfect play, just a showcase on how to come back.
There we go. Yeah, we all love a good underdog story.
Yeah, and thanks for the compliment on the commentating. We really do try our best to feature the players, especially in KFPL. Like running it, it's nice to be able to really stream the feature. You guys really deserve to be showcased on a much broader level than this, honestly, even. But we're glad to do our part to show some really high quality Keyforge, and also just, you know, just how dramatic it can really be when there's that much pressure on the line. I mean, I imagine you're thinking the whole time, like, you know, what's my lineup? Like, you know, like what am I bringing here? Obviously, you have to stick with the same lineup the whole way through this, but I mean, that's some high stress deck selection in addition to just high stress execution.
Absolutely.
Honestly, like playing those low amber controlled decks, man, it's hard. You make one mistake, so it's like gutsy deck calls that were rewarded, and then ultimately the decision is made by misplays, right? Like it's made by how clean you can play, which is, we want a game that's like that at the end of the day. I feel like, right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
You want to be able to say I could have played better in one, like or like I could have made a difference if I played perfect.
Yeah, it's like
otherwise, like, why would we play the game? You know what I mean? Like, if there was no difference to be made by our like skill.
We want just enough variance to have, real decision points and have things be, not repetitive. But
Yeah.
we also want enough control over the minutia to have good skill expression, an adequate skill expression where we expect the better players to win more consistently.
Yeah. Also, really kind comment from JT here. You really appreciate having leagues and the qualifier rotation. Yeah, thanks. I'm currently evaluating that build for the next season.
Yep, and
I'm evaluating that build, but the league thing will happen again. I think the response has been good. I think people like that. As much as it is fun to do those 1 days, I think they're getting increasingly impractical for multiple reasons. I still want to do them, but it's I got to figure out how to do it. And then he also says, I think Hydro played better, but I may have gotten more out of the banning phase. I would agree there. I would agree. Which I think the other element, which we didn't really mention, is just like I think your decks were stronger. Like I think JT's decks were just stronger at the end of the like in aggregate. And there's advantage to be gained in that way as well. Like just like flat out, like if I could only buy one lineup and I had to spend the same amount of money, I would buy JT's.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
I think it also some nice comments from Ketzer and JT himself on our commentating. So we do appreciate those, and we certainly try our best to give all of you some, the best insight we can and be entertaining.
Oh, I didn't even see Ketzer's. Oh, that's such a nice comment. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
I think Hydro played cleaner. It's just that one misplay at the end, man. It'll cost you if you can win with the weaker decks sometimes, like or like the scrappier lineup. Let's say, yeah,
Yep.
you can win, but you gotta play perfect. Like I remember I had a tournament KFPL a long time ago where I was playing Quinn, and like I did end up top cutting that tournament, but it was the difference between getting in the top cut at 4-2 or 5-1, and I got in at 4-2 because I misplayed. I'll never forget this. I like fought a collector worm into something that was strong enough to kill it, and I thought that I was gonna be able to do my like abduct something, get the amber off of it, and then Martian Generosity. And it was like that was like a 20-turn grindy game in the 6th round of Swiss before a top cut.
Yep.
And it made a big difference. And like I could have gotten higher seated. I could have, you know what I mean? Like it's so
That'll do
so
it.
precise. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just small moments like that.
yeah, but like those will like stick with you, man. Like, but that's what makes the game so great. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure everybody has their stories like that. Like, I remember doing this, and then, oh God, if I had that one little different play, I could have won that whatever. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I remember a game against Now in Stereo in the Moirai. It was the Swindle Team Events 3 Moirai team event.
Oh yeah.
It was in the quarterfinals, and it was game 1 with Kutsuser Judge against one of their decks, and I didn't realize. I realized after the game, watching my own VOD back, that I had the key cheat to win. On the last turn.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't do my math correctly on the book of LeCue to hit the proper card, and I will never forget that.
Yeah, no. The other one that bites me, there's a sealed event. It was when Dark Tidings first came out, and like I was like, I can't remember what I did, but I remember being like, basically like I lost by like 1 amber, and then I realized like 2 hours later that I could have gotten that 1 amber back. Like I was just like I wasn't even thinking about it, and I was like, wait, I just had to blah 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 like 3 turns earlier, and I just like, you just like slam your desk, just like, oh God, but like.
Yeah, small moments.
Well, that's the thing though. Like that's what makes it so amazing. Like it's a test of like endurance, and like we've shown the final here, but remember that these guys had to make it through so many rounds to get here, right? Because we did a Swiss and then we did the top cut.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like the precision over time is incredibly skill testing. So really like premier players with premier decks playing in very high pressure circumstances is always fun to watch.
Yeah, and
Those are pretty much my closing thoughts there, though.
Yeah, and we got to see two very different and very unique lineups that are both trying to attack what we expect. So what we expect the median to be in this type of league, in very different ways, and they ended up obviously both those strategies ended up working. Both made it to the finals, but now we have this matchup where both of these lineups are put into uncomfortable positions.
Yeah. Dude, that's so true. Like, would you have ever expected these to be the lineups that made it?
No, I mean not necessarily. I think JT's is slightly closer to what I would expect.
But even that, I mean, it's like 2 AOAs, one of which has like 1.6 Amber control, like combo stuff. Hydros is like low creature control rush stuff, like and the MM is like slow. Like this is so not meta. There's not a single deck in there that's meta.
No, there isn't. Absolutely not.
Oh, you know what? JT's first deck, that Zyger, probably the closest thing to meta.
Yeah, I think it's slightly closer. But even then, still then, right? It's a really low E deck.
Yeah.
So.
But I'd say that's like the only one I can think of that like aligns with what I consider to be like the meta right now.
Yep.
But like, that's crazy.
With that conclusion, we have to say JT is the meta sheep.
Meta sheep.
Yep.
2 counter setter. Yeah, I mean that's what we want to see though, man. Like creativity, like a huge part of Triad is just like bringing in that lineup that just cuts in a different way than people are expecting. Like it's something to really be proud of, and like congrats to JT. You know, like getting that.
They deserve that success. Both Hydro and JT, both deserve the reward of that creativity and thought process coming together.
Yeah, and we'll see them both in KFPL 5.
Yes, we will. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So welcome in. You are now qualified. I think were they both already qualified?
Yeah, they were both already in. A couple other players got in that I can't recall off the top of my head, who were like unqualified players, got to like near the top. But man, I'm looking forward to it. The format's really cool. We're gonna get 3 different 2-deck survivals happening simultaneously, where you have to have a bunch of sets represented in those lineups. So we're going to see a very diverse meta, and we're going to see some fire.
Yes, it should be very good. Well, I think that's going to be it from us. So thank you all for coming out. Thank you all for watching it. And what we're going to do is I'm actually going to shoot you over. I'm going to put a raid on for Zoc because they're doing Dataforge stream tonight.
Nice.
So we'll do a nice raid. So thank you everyone for coming out. We really appreciate it. Congratulations to Jtrussell for taking the dub here and moving on to KFPL 5. Congratulations to Hydro for putting together 3 really clean games. Both played really well, and both are deserving of all the praise they can get. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this again with Jtrussell's own insight into it. And I'll have to go back and make sure that I turn the volume down on that Gang or Not turn, apparently, because there's a lot of swearing, I guess. So if you have children, just watch out for that part. But that's going to be it from us. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming out. And please stick around in the channel. And please join the raid as we go over to the Dataforge stream.
See ya.
Peace, everyone.